Hey, thanks for slithering in. I am Symtherin. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome in if you are new. Today we are building in Mount Komorebi, which came with the Snowy Escape Pack, which I felt like was fitting because this is a snowy world, except it's not snowy in this neighborhood where I'm at right now, but there are plenty of mountains, winter activities if you like to take your Sims to go skiing or even hiking. You can hike up a mountain, which is really fun, very dangerous. But since we're in the middle of winter, I thought it might be fun to make this our next installment of the Starter Home series. If you haven't been following along, the Starter Home series is where I am going from world to world and building starter homes with just the base game and that pack. So today is a limited pack build with just Snowy Escape and base game, and I don't think I've ever really done a limited pack build with just Snowy Escape, so this was super fun to do and I really like how it came out, so I hope you guys do as well. If you want to catch up or revisit the builds in this series so far, the playlist is going to be linked in the description below, as well as in a card or maybe at the end of this video. I'll make sure it's easily accessible for you guys, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the series. If there is any world that you're really itching to see or want to see next, please let me know down in the comments as well, because I love to hear your suggestions and would love to tackle every single world at least once before we start going around again. The shape of the build is now pretty much all together. We're just getting the roofing and those little details in place. I really like the shape of this build. I did have a reference picture. I'll try and remember to link that somewhere. I tend to forget that, so if you really want to see the reference picture, please let me know, or as always, you can follow me on Pinterest. I don't have like that Simspiration board private anymore, so it's definitely public for anyone to check out. This front room here, or I guess the side room, I definitely used a lot of the large Snowy Escape windows. And that's one of the benefits of this pack, is there are so many different window size and variations, so I didn't have to use any base game windows at all. I'm also really leaning into this light wood tone, which I don't typically do, but I feel like Snowy Escape has such great, honestly they have great wood tones in general, but I really do like the light wood tone in this pack. However, all of them are really good, whether dark or light. I remember when this pack first came out a couple years ago, everyone in the community was just in love with the texture of all the wood tone items and things. Like, it's really a good pack, and honestly, I forget about that all the time until I actually use it. I don't really gravitate towards this type of build style in like my everyday building, but it's really fun to do it every so often, and I do enjoy it. I knew I wanted to really utilize a lot of landscaping paint, like terrain paint, because we got those new ones with the base game update a little while ago, so we had to take advantage of that, and it's free. But as always, we're going to figure out the interior before we actually go back out and finish the landscaping, as I tend to do in these starter home builds, only because I want to make sure I have enough money to really make this a functional build. You know, we want to make sure that's happening, and then I can always utilize debug items for the landscaping, which I'm pretty sure I do. 100% actually, I do. I was playing with platforms as well, and these platforms are giving me a hard time, so we're gonna play with it a little bit. I don't know, they were looking a little weird to me because these two rooms were actually at the same level, but the archway was telling me they weren't. I was really honestly confused, and now I'm trying to make this like a single room, but the roofs kept deleting. I ended up fixing it off camera. It took a lot of finagling to fix it, but we got it together. We end up making the entranceway a little smaller to save on simoleons, so it becomes like a 1 tile wide, like 1x2, I think, hallway thing. There's really nothing you can put in there. You just need to have that space to enter into the home. But that can be expanded later on as your sim starts to gain more simoleons in their life journey, you know? We also have the bathroom setup where there are two different rooms. The toilet room, where it's just a toilet in there, and the other room is the tub shower. In this case, it's a tub. I didn't use the shower, even though in Snowy Escape we do have the one tile shower head, which is very convenient. But regardless, it is a tub and the sink is in there. That is by design because of Japanese trends and design that I have seen around. I've seen it a lot when the game first released this pack, and a lot of simmers were talking about it. So that's when I first initially learned about it. From what I've read online, there are multiple reasons for this case and type of design and layout of their bathrooms. However, one that really stood out to me, which I actually want to take to heart, is that bathing time in Japan is somewhat like a really ritual where you can just unwind at the end of a long day and just chill. And if your toilet is in the same room, the toilet isn't really relaxing in that sense. It's more of a grosser aspect of a bathroom, which honestly, yeah, that totally makes sense. For example, most bathrooms I've ever been in my life, at least in a home or places I've lived at, the bathroom is pretty much comprised of the toilet, tub, and a sink, right? It's just the norm. But there are some houses that are designed in this way where there is a separate room or a separate, like a door separating the rest of the bathroom, which I always found very luxurious. So I totally get this aspect of designing bathrooms like this. And coming from a big family myself, I feel like this would open up a lot of, I guess, opportunity, or more flexibility is the better word for it. For there were so many times where someone in my household growing up was showering or getting ready for something, and you had to go to the bathroom like it's a 911 kind of thing, you know, and then you just have to kind of kick them out and deal with it. But it's hard, and having this set up this way definitely opens up different possibilities. But enough bathroom talk, we're moving on to the kitchen. For this case, it was kind of a no-brainer for me to put the kitchen up along this back wall and kind of underneath the staircase. It was pretty easy, honestly, to play test, which is really exciting. But it's really just a fridge, a sink, a stove, and one counter open for, you know, prepping your prep area. We get some open shelving, which I usually really prefer using cabinets in my kitchens. Not that I don't like the look of open shelving, I just constantly think of how often you would have to dust that in real life, and everything's kind of exposed to the elements. So yeah, that's my reasoning for why I prefer using cabinets. But I felt like this kitchen really benefited from having just an open shelving kind of storage space. Plus, these cabinets have all of these shelves underneath it. They're open cabinets, or counters, I should say, I'm sorry, which we were all really excited for when this pack came up, because the clutter opportunities, I just don't use them enough. Because also the clutter opportunities, like if you're using these, I feel like you have to commit to all that clutter. And I'll say it and I'll say it again, I do really, really love a cluttered kitchen. You guys notice. But sometimes that's a lot of clutter to commit to in one go, especially when you're trying to do something pretty quickly, like I have been trying to do pretty recently. Here we are shrinking the entranceway, and I'm trying to fix that up because I noticed my simoleons kind of going way down, very low. So I actually thought about this in bed, I think, and then I came back to it and was like, you know what, I think I can shrink it. I was literally laying in bed like, I can shrink this by one tile. This is what I think about when I'm in bed and builds I'm working on. But we end up putting the dining room there near the stairs as well, and use this room as our little, I guess I'm calling it like a sunroom, living room kind of space. It's also enough room for a little office nook as well, which is really fun. At first, I thought this would be a good spot for like a dining room, but to be honest with you, this came out so much better than a dining room would. I think this is my favorite room in the whole build. Honestly, this room itself really goes to show how good of a pack Snowy Escape is, because I don't think I use anything from base game unless I maybe use a TV. The TV is base game. And I do end up using this desk chair, but you don't have to. There are plenty of chairs in Snowy Escape. Like, this could be honestly just a one pack build, legit, without base game, except for a few items. But most of it is Snowy Escape, which honestly, it is so worth it. I think this pack is definitely up there on my tier list. Like, this room is just so simple, but with the big windows and the way I laid everything out, I just feel like it came out so cozy and I love it. I would hang out there all the time. Up here, we put our bedroom. Now, I think a good mark of a starter home is the opportunities for building onto a house that's already here. So we have this bare minimum structure, but we have the bump outs on the side here where you can easily just add rooms and easily just extend this house as much as you need to. Typically when I do play the game for fun, because I don't go into gameplay very often, but when I do, sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to keep it easy, one sim, we're just going to gain skills, and then we'll go from there. But it's usually about a day in where I'm like, oh my god, now I'm flirting with this townie, and now we're having some fun, and oh no, here comes a baby, and now I have to expand my house. That's usually how my gameplay goes. So I think having a starter home that can be built on is very important, especially if you don't want to completely just move out of the lot and find a new house right away, because obviously you're still saving on money and you got to keep things small and cheap as possible. Now that I have all of the necessities for your sim to survive, we're going to add a little bit of clutter with the rest of our simoleons, some dishes up on this shelf, salt and pepper shaker I think are up there. I do get a hot pot, so that's exciting. I feel like that's maybe not an item that comes with most starter homes, so that's fun and it's functional, which is, I mean, I learned this while playtesting. You can just click and drag it where you need it, but nonetheless it's still functional. I think we add more greenery. Here's the hot pot I'm pulling out, and I do end up getting one of those tea storage cabinets that came with the pack. I think it's like for storing tea, but I put it up here just to kind of fill this empty space a little bit, and I think it worked out pretty well. So I'm really happy with this build, and I really hope you guys like it, because the interior is pretty much done at this point, and we're gonna jump back into landscaping, which that took me a minute to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, because the lot is pretty big. It's much bigger than I need it to be, so I had to get a little creative with it, and I ended up putting a pond in the backyard. There's really no activities back there. There's a debug table and chairs out front, so you actually can't use that, but I feel like that's okay. I also think I skipped over the fact that I put an art easel in the bedroom, because I wanted to make sure there was some way a sim could easily make some money here, so that you can eventually upgrade this home or move on to another one, whichever. But here we are pulling out items from the debug menu. Again, I keep talking about when this pack first came out, the debug menu was like top tier. Like, we were all like, we got so many good things in this hidden menu. I mean, one, it sucks that it's hidden and you have to use cheat codes or mods to get to it, but I feel like that's worth it for me. Honestly, that's enough for me. The quality of the landscape debug items are just so good. I swear, I love them so much. But we're trying to add some interest to the front of this house. I think we get some planters up on that shelf up there that are from the debug menu, because we don't have any simoleons to really play with anymore. And I think we just get some bushes and plants and things, and pretty soon we'll get the pond out back. But again, there's plenty of space here where if you needed to get any kind of gardening going, you can do that. I don't think I have any garden pots out here, but there's space for it. You can really get creative with it. And I think that's the best mark of a starter home, honestly. I'm gonna keep saying it because I really believe that it's true. Now I know we're like well into the video now, but I hope you guys are doing well and having a great weekend. If you are watching this the day it's being uploaded, we are really close to the holiday season being completed, at least for Christmas anyway. I am so excited for that because it's been a doozy. It's been busy, but it's also been a good holiday as well. I for one still have a bunch of presents I need to get wrapped. I don't think I'm doing them today cuz yesterday was all about family parties and things, and I'm kind of beat from all of that. So we're keeping it chill today. I had a nice little late start, slept in a little bit. That's why this video is going up a little late, because I did not find the time in the last couple of days to sit down for this voiceover, and honestly, this wasn't the video I was planning to get out for you guys today. I keep talking about this video that is like an hour long. It's so long, but I just haven't had the time or honestly the energy to really sit down for such a long voiceover, but I'm going to start chipping away at it, and you guys are going to see it pretty soon, probably sometime after the new year, because I'm also hoping today to film some videos for My Sims and My Sims Kingdom, because now that I found my capture card, I can actually sit down and do that. So that's my plan for today. I hope you guys have a good weekend planned, or the end of your weekend. Hopefully the Sunday scaries aren't getting to you. Those will probably hit me in the next hour or so because I don't want to go to work, but also it's a short week too, so I guess that's making it a little easier. The landscaping is slowly coming together. It did go through some phases of me trying to figure out exactly which kind of items I want to use. We end up going out with some bushes framing the house and this little debug fence that I really love. So it looks really lush and green. And then in a little bit, in like a quick second, we're going to decide to put a pond back here just to kind of fill the space up. But honestly, I probably could have left it empty and it would have been okay. I do think that back here would be a great place to get maybe a picnic table or some other activities that your Sims can do and enjoy the scenery of the pond. I think that's always a good option, especially if you like taking a ton of screenshots of your game and your Sims enjoying themselves like I do. You can also probably get one of those fishing signs, or at least maybe stock the pond here with fish and use that as another skill building item here, or money making scheme, and just fish and sell and fish and sell. You definitely have those options, but let me know what you guys would do with the backyard here if you end up downloading this. It is up on the gallery. My gallery ID is Symtherin. If you guys don't know, it's the same as it is here, as well as any other social media platform that you may find me on. I swear I am on more than I know what to do with because I don't have time for all of them all the time, but I do my best. Back to the pond, I did have to get a little creative because I did have to use debug items to kind of decorate it. So I did find some things. I think I end up getting some of those candles too that float. I don't remember if I keep these tree stumps, but I do get some rocks and things. So those are like altered with the tool mod, I believe. And these lily pads, of course, I have to lower them a little bit because they're floating. But once your sim gets some more money, you can probably add some legit pond decorations if you wanted to update this pond. Maybe add some swans, ducks, fish, what have you. Because I think those cost some money, if I'm not mistaken. Here I'm going through the debug menu looking for rocks and realize the base game ones that I like actually cost simoleons. A lot of things in the debug menu don't cost any simoleons, which is why they're so great for starter homes like this. But there are a few things that cost a couple of simoleons, and I only have 3 to my name at this point. So we're opting out to some bushes, and I think we get some rocks here to kind of give it some height interest a little bit because these bushes are pretty low to the ground. But overall, I really do like how it came out and hope you guys do as well. I It's not much, it's simple, but I feel like sometimes simple is really good, especially when you're working with limited packs and things, and maybe that's all your computer can handle, because I know sometimes my computer has been like huffing and puffing recently with the game more so than usual. Anyway, if you have any suggestions for the next starter home build that we do, please let me know in the comments down below. But in just a quick second, we are going to hop into live mode and start play testing this puppy. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been trying to get a little creative with my play testing as like trial and error, kind of testing some different editing styles out. So let me know how you like it. And we are live here in Mount Komorebi. We're in the not so snowy part of town. Our test sim today is Kyle Carlson. We're first going to test out this kitchen, but the entryway is kind of like a tight squeeze. I want to show you guys how this works. So it was pretty easy. He kind of walks through that door. It's good to know that Sims can pretty much operate underneath staircases here like this. In this instance, on the counter to chop some food. I honestly had no idea if that was going to work or not. I'm a little worried. I don't know if he has much cooking skill. Oh, he's level 1. Okay. We're not going to burn the place down then. Good. Well, that works. So I'm going to have you put it away. I want to test the hot pot just in case, you know. I didn't know you can just do it there. So you probably want to move it. We're going to empty it though. Perfect. And I'm going to try and put it back there. Now, I'm a little worried about this sink. Get water. I thought so. I was pretty sure this wasn't going to be functional. It looks nice because it's kind of weird to think that you don't see any plumbing underneath the sink. Kyle thinks that's hilarious. But I'm pretty sure we can sit at this dining table pretty easily on both chairs. We have a lot of space in here, which is good. I wanted to make sure it felt that way. We do have our bathroom here. So we are going to test this thing real quick. We're going to let him do that. But taking a bath works, which is good to know. Yep, and our bathroom works, so we're going to let him do that. And we forgot to test this kitchen sink, so before we do anything else and move on, we're going to make sure this is working. Lovely. Now, this living room is by far my favorite room. I just love the big windows, and it looks so simple but cozy. Kyle's taking it upon himself to read a book, which is great. So that helps me, you know, because now we know this bookshelf is functional and this chair is functional. Let's make sure we can sit at the desk. We do not have a laptop or a computer here because, you know, it's a starter home, so we're limited funds, but I wanted to make sure you had a place for it. I'm going to put the book away. Oh, I just stole it for him. Bruh. You want a nap? Is that what you're doing? Nap lazily. Well, I want you to watch TV. Can you watch it while sitting down? There we go. I know it's not like facing the TV, but I feel like it works. It's fine. And finally, we have our very simple bedroom up here, but honestly, it's probably one of my better starter home bedrooms, if I do say so myself. I think I was able to manage my funds pretty easily, or maybe that just says a lot about the Snowy Escape pack. Let's do a painting. Now that the bed works, and now we know that the easel works. Finally, of course, we have to make sure our dresser works. You gonna try on some clothes, Kyle? There we go. Look at you. Okay, great. And now all that's left is uploading this up to the gallery. I'm calling it the Komorebi starter because I'm very creative with the names of my homes. And that has been our starter home in Mount Komorebi. Again, if there's a certain world you want to see a starter home for, let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and this build, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye!